Okay, folks, welcome back to the channel and part 5 of my Grail build, which is the Edelweiss experimental tank from Zoukei Mura. So it's been a little while since there's been an update on this build. Just real life, personal stuff I need to sort out. Because this, for me, because it's a Grail build, it's not the sort of build that you can rush. It warrants taking your time, doing the best possible job you can do on it, for me. So anyway, the tank itself, as you can see, is finished. There's nothing else to do to the tank itself now. Everything's done, the electrics are in, and it's done. So the idea being with this is, yes, it needs to, or I want it to weather it, to give it that worn appearance, but not overly done, because I want to stay true to the aesthetic of the game, basically, in the anime way of doing things. So it needs to be quite vibrant, quite in your face. And I think for me, and if you disagree, then pop a comment in, but I think I've sort of achieved that middle ground between, you know, building it as armor and also that anime aesthetic, if you like. So obviously all this is done, it's all flat coated, it's all done, the antennas on. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be to put together. All the decals are on. I didn't use decals, so if I take this out, so what I didn't do on the side, so these come as decals, these stripes here, but I didn't use the decals because obviously you've got this molded in strap, and I thought decals would be problematic, so they're painted on, but everything else you can see is decals, including the flag on the antenna, which doubles up as a flagpole on this particular thing. Metal barrel, obviously, so it's all done. So if we can take it apart, so that cover comes off, which means then I can remove the top of the turret, and we'll look at sort of each bit as an individual piece, really. So this is obviously the turret housing, the top of the turret, all done, all the stowage, everything is out the box. There's nothing added to this, with the exception of this bit of chain here. So as you can see there, we've got this chain that we've added on, but everything else is out the box. All these bags and everything are included in the kit. So that's the turret top. If we flip it over, we have got bits of interior inside the turret itself, sighting system, etc. So that's that. Then we've got the sort of mantlet cover, which I've done in sort of an off-white, weathered it up, put the red stripe decals on it. Dead simple. And then it's just black on the underside of it, and that sits obviously over the breech and everything else. So the barrel itself, so the barrel is Zoukei Mura, but it's a metal barrel. The issue I had with the barrel, the metal barrel had all this strapping here was PE, and it just wouldn't, probably my lack of skill using PE, but it wouldn't conform enough to look right. So what I did, and this strap in here, so what I did is I cut some thin masking tape and constructed it myself as the strapping around the barrel, and I think it looks okay. It looks pretty good. Now it's all weathered up and everything else, so I'm quite happy with how that turned out. Obviously the breech itself, I haven't worried about the seams here because they're never ever seen. And the breech itself sort of sprayed in off-white, and then detail painted and weathered a little bit, some scratches. We've got, I don't know whether you can make it out, so the metallic itself inside the actual breech where the shells will be loaded, but everything else done in this sort of off-white color. And the interior a bit tricky, purely because there's not much reference out there of the actual interior, so it's a bit of artistic license, sort of going along the Panzer IV type colors, etc. The turret itself goes together really well. We've got obviously the shell racks at the back, then we've got the gunner's seat, etc., fire extinguisher. Very straightforward, and it looks good. I'm happy with how it looks. and all painted, as I say, sort of Panzer IV-esque. Then we've got the actual vehicle itself. So the idea being with this, as I mentioned right at the beginning of the build, I wanted it so that I can take this apart, show off the interior, switch the lights on, all that sort of stuff. So none of it's glued together, which is testament to the quality of the kit and how well it fits together, because none of this is glued, none of it. So the top of the hull, or the upper hull, comes off, and so does the front. So let's move that out of the way. So we've got this upper hull here. We've added all the side armor plates, etc., all the stowage, and as I say, everything is out the box. Initially I was going to replace this rope or tow cable with aftermarket. However, I wanted to stay as true to the box as possible, so I used the bit that came out the box, and to be honest, it looks good. It looks okay. All the tools and everything comes in the kit, so I'm really happy with that. If we flip it over, then we've just got this sort of off-white color on the interior. Yeah, so I'm happy with how that looks. Then we've got the vehicle itself, or the lower hull and interior. You've seen this before. It's all done, tracks are all done. We can still so we can switch. It's not going to show them up very clearly under this light. If I switch that off, it might show a bit better. There we go. So obviously we've got these fuel cells at the back that light up with the LEDs that are underneath the engine deck here. This all comes out. I'm not going to do that now. You've seen that before. So I can change batteries and all that sort of stuff and get to the actual wiring if I need to, but it's nice and hidden. And I didn't need to attach it to the base and drill through the bottom of the vehicle or anything like that. If we flip it over, then the bottom's done as well, and it's weathered as well. I didn't want to leave that not done. So that's it. That's the actual tank itself, finished. So there's still a boatload of stuff to do on this. So what I need to do now, and probably the focus of today, is to work on the crew. So there's 3 crew members. Obviously you've seen this one before. That's the first one that's done. So you've got these kind of anime type characters. There's 2 more crew members, 1 male, 1 female, so I'll work on those today. In the meantime, what I have been doing when I get a chance is working on the actual base itself. So yes, the grass is very, very green. It's static grass, a mix of, I think, 4, 6, 8 and 10 mil to get this effect, and then spray black, or sorry, mahogany Mr. Surfacer, and then coming in with various green tones, etc., to get this effect. It's very, very green, but it is in the game, and that's the aesthetic I'm going for. That's what I'm trying to achieve. The cobblestone road is done. Now you can see this end, I've started to kind of dull this effect down, and the way I'm doing that is with various washes, UMP concrete wash, light dirt, mix them together, put it over, and then start to remove the excess wash from the cobblestones, and that will dull this down quite significantly. It's still a bit shiny. It will all be flat coated obviously once it's done. Unfortunately, we've got a bit there where you can see the blue foam has just come off, but that's okay, we can sort that. It's not a major problem at all. And then this area of the base here we've started to work on. So we're adding foliage. It's a scratch built fence with easy line and some bamboo and all that sort of stuff. We've got a wood pile here, which then has got a tarpaulin over it. We'll add some tools maybe around that, and we're starting to bring the base to life a little bit. And then this area here, which is the lower portion of the base, we're just going to add a bit more foliage and all that sort of stuff to that, and get it looking how we want it to look, trying to go off screenshots and reference images from the game. The actual building hasn't changed all that much. It's time to start doing some more stuff to this. We've obviously added the flag and all that sort of stuff. We have got some water effects in the barrel there that's still drying, and we'll build that up so it's visible. But that's using Vallejo still water, so it takes a while for that to sort of dry. What I'm thinking with this, I'm not going to tip it over too much because obviously that's drying, is maybe it needs maybe some like creeping ivy, some vines around the front of it. Maybe I'm gonna have a think about that. Let me know what you think, whether it needs that sort of thing, and maybe across here. Then we're gonna add some pigeons and all that sort of stuff from mini art, and we'll put some sort of debris and sort of leaves and all that sort of stuff in the gutter, really, to give that a bit more realism. And then obviously attach the door to the front, and then once it's on the base, we'll sort of where the base of the building is, where it meets, we'll add some sort of grass and all that sort of stuff to blend it in to the actual base itself. So that's pretty much it, folks. That's where we're at with this Edelweiss build. As I say, next thing really is I want to get the crew done, and then the base will evolve over time. If you've got any suggestions, put them in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the tank, and how that's been done, and if anything you think needs to be added to the base. So to give you an idea of how big the base is, I didn't want it massive because the tank needs to be the focus, but if you put the tank, or if I put the tank on the base, it sits pretty much central, so it's sort of 25 centimeters, 22 centimeters across and 22 centimeters in depth, nice and square, and the tank will sit in the middle like so, with the crew on it, and the building sits, or will, excuse me, knocking my camera, the building will sit behind it, and get it all that blended in to the base with some grass and all that sort of stuff. And I think it'll look how I can see it in my mind's eye, hopefully. But as I say, there's still a boatload of stuff to do, but the tank itself is actually finished. He says, broken my tree, that's not a problem, we can sort that out. Yeah, so the base is still very much evolving and will continue to evolve over time. I've got lots of additional stuff, as you've seen before: pigeons, the crew, tools, milk churns, milk carts, all that stuff. So to build the base so we get it quite busy, that's the idea. We don't want it sparse, we want a lot going on. So yeah, that's it, folks. So let me know what you think so far. Leave me a comment. If you haven't already, hit the like button. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. Share the video, and until next time, folks, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and happy hobbying. Bye bye.